Accessible toilets in the UK are specifically designed to meet the needs of people with disabilities. They feature wider doors, grab rails, emergency alarms, and extra space for wheelchair users or carers, ensuring dignity and independence. Recently, following legal and policy changes, some have suggested that transgender individuals use these facilities as an alternative to gendered toilets. However, many disability advocates express concern, emphasizing that accessible toilets are not a catch-all solution and everyone deserves facilities that respect their individual needs. This issue has become particularly prominent following a UK Supreme Court ruling in April 2025, which clarified that the terms woman and sex in the Equality Act 2010 refer to biological sex. This ruling has led to the Equality and Human Rights Commission, EHRC, issuing interim guidance stating that trans women should not be permitted to use the women's facilities in workplaces or public-facing services, with similar guidance for trans men. Consequently, some politicians and employment lawyers have suggested that accessible, disabled toilets, often being single occupancy and lockable, could serve as an alternative for transgender individuals. For example, Kemi Badenoch, a prominent Conservative politician, has indicated that trans people could use disabled toilets if other gender-neutral facilities are not available. However, this suggestion has been met with significant concern and criticism from disability advocates and many in the trans community. Their arguments include insufficient provision. There is already a severe shortage of truly accessible toilets, particularly changing places facilities that include hoists and other essential equipment for people with complex needs. Diverting these limited resources for a broader user base would exacerbate the existing inadequacy for disabled individuals. Dignity and discrimination. Forcing transgender individuals to use accessible toilets can be seen as a form of segregation, highlighting their difference and potentially causing humiliation. Similarly, it can undermine the dignity of disabled people by implying their facilities are a catch-all rather than dedicated spaces for specific needs. Practical challenges. Accessible toilets are often kept locked and require a key, such as a radar key, which can create practical barriers and embarrassment for transgender individuals seeking to use them. They may also be located inconveniently, impacting efficiency and access. Existing legal protections. While the Supreme Court ruling has focused on biological sex for single-sex spaces, the Equality Act still protects transgender people from discrimination under the gender reassignment characteristic. Disability advocates argue that pushing transgender individuals into accessible toilets may not align with the spirit of inclusivity for either group. Toilet policing concerns. There are fears that this approach could lead to increased toilet policing by members of the public, with individuals scrutinizing who uses which facility, potentially leading to confrontations and further distress for both disabled and transgender individuals. Both disability and trans rights organizations emphasize that the ideal solution lies in the provision of more genuinely gender-neutral, single-stall facilities that can accommodate everyone's needs without compromising the specific requirements of disabled people. They argue that creating a third space that is universally accessible and welcoming is a more equitable and practical long-term goal, rather than repurposing already scarce accessible facilities. The debate continues, with ongoing legal challenges to the EHRC's guidance and calls for clearer, more inclusive policy from the government.